Welcome to Lift Your Story podcast with guest Mss Francois, dynamic entertainer, speaker, writer, author, and game-changing trendsetter. Hi everyone, I am Lorianne. I am that gal from Milton, Ontario, Canada, and I am with...
I am that guy. I am Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas. Welcome to our Lift Your Story podcast.
In this episode, we welcome Mss Francois, and she is a dynamic entertainer, a speaker, writer, author, and game-changing trendsetter. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Whoa, I sound so amazing and sexy all in one sentence. Thank you.
Okay, so in your bio, you have a show where you talk about dysfunctional relationships with a little humor.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little about these dysfunctional relationships.
So the first thing I want to say is that all relationship has some kind of dysfunction. Even Mr. Roy Miller, who been married for 50 years, most likely had 49 years of dysfunction and 1 year of happiness. So we all have dysfunction, and we have to be able to solve these issues, communicate, talk about it to get over certain dysfunction. So my show, instead of you being sad and, eating yourself into a coma and not bathing and being all depressed, I add some humor, and I have different people that come on that can help navigate you through your relationships. I have fun episodes, entertaining episodes. It's a lot of different things, but it all come right back to relationships.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is like my family. I say, if you look up dysfunction in the dictionary, you'd see our family with a capital D in a group photo. And I always thought, our family has got to be the most screwed up family, there is. But then you talk to people, I tell people, they'd say, oh man, my family, I said, hey, give me your best shot. I bet I can beat it. But then there's some people I'm going like, holy cow, I thought we were bad.
And Roy, and you're like, I was one of them.
And that's the one you want to go hug all your family members, like, thank God you're not as dysfunctional as I thought you were.
Yeah. But it's funny because I guess, like you say, everybody has some kind of dysfunction in their relationships.
Exactly.
Maybe not as extreme as somebody else, but there is dysfunction in all relationships.
Yeah, and in relationships, it's if people want certain things to work. Because sometimes people, as soon as a problem arises, someone wants to, exit. And that's not how it's supposed to be, especially if you're married. You made vows. You should try to reflect that in your vows by searching out different things and different ways that we can make adjustments and make things work. But I think these days, a lot of people are quick to run because it's so much more easier.
Yeah, I believe that too, but you also have to look at the other side of things too, is when you've tried to a certain point where it's better to say it's over.
Okay, Lorianne, I see where you're going with this. Obviously, you still have resentment. No.
No, I wowould say that I would have if I stayed.
Okay, good.
Does that make sense?
So right, and that's knowing when because again, it's always two people have to want it to work. Because sometimes if one person wanted to work, it's not going to work. Two people have to come to some kind of common ground to decide to go forward and what that's going to look like. But again, it comes a time you might be happy like Lorianne and be like, you know what, I'm happily single for 15 years. I don't want to see any kind of thing that look like a man.
Okay, I'm not that far, but
right on the edge there, But
around, people are talking me into it, saying, "Don't give up on love," and I'm going.
But when you're talking about how easy it is, like when I got married, it was. I figured death do us part. That was my mindset. But it's funny now. The younger generation will say, a lot younger than me. I worked with a girl. She'd been married once, and she was going to get married again. So I asked her. I said, "Well, you think this is going to work out?" She goes, "Well, if it doesn't, I'll just get a divorce." And I'm kind of like, "Why would you even want to get married if that's your thoughts?" It's kind of like, "I don't like these shoes. I'll get a new pair."
So I was even on this podcast where he says he think it should have a contract in marriage that every 7 years you have an option to exit. And I said, if you have an option to exit, sometimes you're gonna wait for that 7 years, like, thank God, I know I can exit this relationship. You're not gonna work as hard. So I didn't agree with him, and we had like a whole back and forth with that.
Well, marriage is like a job. You have to work at it.
Amen.
I mean, and both people, not just one, both people. You know, it's a give and take. I mean, it's like a job.
Yeah, but people
You show up every day.
forget that though. People think,
Yeah.
and a lot of people say, call it what it is, the Disney syndrome, where every Cinderella, Snow White, all those stories end with happily ever after, and no one sees anything after that. So everyone thinks, oh, we have this big wedding, we spend all this money we can't afford to spend, we end up in debt, and we're gonna live happily ever after. And as soon as people recognize that's not the case, a lot of things could be adjusted.
Yeah. Well, I know I was the only white knight I've seen in a long time.
You know what? In fairness, people ask me why have you never remarried? It was because of that in a big way. When I said till death do us part, I have a hard time getting past my vows, because even if I'm divorced, I don't see myself as divorced, and I don't really feel that getting married again. To me, if I got married again, it's almost negating everything that I promised to. I know I have divorce papers, but they're still in my mind, because when I got married, I vowed to, for better or for worse, sickness or in health. I mean, what happened was beyond what I could stay around for, but in my heart, those vows remained. And it's really bizarre. And some people might sit there and go, yeah, like I've dated since, like I had a boyfriend for 2 years, which is like, 'cause I've been divorced 20, so a single for 15. But to get married again is very hard for me to say vows that I've already crushed and couldn't keep. And so I'm sitting there going, I can't do that again, you know, because
Okay.
I know it's weird.
So basically, I'm thinking, if that happens to me, I'm gonna have to get rid of him so I can move on. Okay, thank you, Lori. I'll write that down, because I need to move on and I need to start a new relationship. But very good points.
Right, because you're making that vow. Like the vow, when I said it, meant a lot to me. I didn't just do it lightly, like Roy was saying. Some people can do it. Oh, well, it's just a divorce and then I'll get married again. Some people get married within a year. Some people, to me, it meant more than that. It was truthfully a vow. And so, yeah. So
Lori,
you're right.
I'll marry you. You sound so sweet and wonderful. He messed up. Give me his name and address and blood type.
I know, like you say, it's two sides to every story, but his side, I think, kind of like, yeah, made me walk eventually. So
Lori Ann is sweet and she has a good heart.
Thank you. So yeah, so this is just so much fun. You make me laugh. I wish I don't know. I mean, I want to kind of say why. I mean, okay, I may as well. What the heck? The whole pretty world knows. Like, the reason I left him was because first he had an affair with a friend, then he had an affair with my sister. By the second time, I couldn't deal with it anymore, because seriously, I would have carried that. And some people can forgive, but that's a really, really, really tough one.
No, really?
I'm not joking.
You made it sound like I could have done it, but I don't know. What? You're lucky. Yeah. Oh, he's lucky to be still alive. You're an amazing woman, okay?
Well,
I'm not that strong. And one of the things, like when people infidelity is involved, right? I always say this: say no matter who it's with, right? And even if you said, okay, I didn't forget, but I forgive. I always say, if you end up in an argument or disagreement a month later, a year later, some people bring the stuff. Yeah, you cheated with my sister, and I'm like, if you can't get past that, then you should leave. Because who wants to be in a relationship like that, repeating the same thing over and over? And I've seen a lot of relationships continue like that. I mean, if it worked for them, great, but it can't work for me, because if I can't get past that, what's the point?
Yeah.
Well, so
I know you're thinking I sound pretty smart, right? Yeah.
You are.
But the thing is, you know, I mean, I could never get past it. You know, I mean, and I guess probably one thing that maybe this helped us stay married as long as we have is that we We both agreed to be honest, transparent. We have good communication, so there's no secrets, nothing like that. So I think that's one of the things that's helped us last as long as we have. And I had a guy say something one time. He said about his wife wanting his password to his phone. I go, "What's the big deal?" He goes, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy?" I said, "Well, my wife's got mine." I said, "I leave my phone in the living room when I go to bed. She can go through it. I got nothing to hide."
Wow, you're one of a kind. Roy, how many sons do you have? Because
Two.
I need one of those sons.
Two.
Oh, if they're married, they need to get a divorce because I'm ready. Because if you have any of that and you pass that on to them, oh my God, that is husband material.
I was like that way too. I didn't mind I didn't mind if somebody went in. I had nothing to hide. Obviously I found out that other people did, but you do notice though, like if you sit there and you go, "Hey, can I get on your computer?" No. Well, then there's something going on.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. We sharing everything.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a big deal. Here's my phone. I don't think it's a big deal. I have my stuff without a password, with a password. It doesn't really matter to me. But like you said, you might be free and the other person not. Like I had one of my exes. I'm gonna say one of my exes. I sound like I have like 100 of them. I ain't saying nothing. But one of them, we had like the same phone. He wanted the same everything. We had the same password, and I didn't think a big deal of it. One day I picked up his phone. He was right there or whatever, and I used the code because we all have the same code. And then I saw a text from another female. First, I thought it was my phone, and I'm like, who the hell is texting me? Right? And he was calm. He was like, "Oh, babe, that's my phone." Right? But then even though you see how we had the same password, the same phone, he was so brave, right? That he trusted me so much that I won't go in the phone. But I always say God have a different plan. So God is like, pick that phone up. And he was picking her up from here and dropping her off here. And I'm like, you see, you're trusting someone and still he blatantly was doing wrong things right in front of you. Some people, it's just interesting.
Well, it's funny.
He's still alive.
It's my wife, she'll say, I'll say, "Where's so-and-so? It's in my purse." I don't dig in her purse. I will get her purse, hand it to her, say, "You give it to me. Just look at my purse." No, I'm not dare going in there. I might never come out. And then
I might never come out.
Well, in a woman purse, something might bite you or something, because there's always a bunch of stuff we have in there.
There's so much junk in there, I'm afraid to even look in there anyway. So she's got like this 12 drawer dresser. I couldn't tell you what's in there. I couldn't tell you what. I've never been in there. She could have naked pictures of guys. I'd never know because we've been married all these years. I've never even looked in it. That's your dresser.
You see, and that's why you're going to make it to 51 years, Mr. Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's just, she wants to go through my wallet. I don't have a problem with it. There's nothing in there.
Well, I know I said she was only looking for money. So.
There's nothing there. So,
there. It's really cool because Roy and I mean, it's been a couple of years now that we've known each other. A couple of times I've gone through a tough time. I get on the phone with him. I'm on the phone with him for I don't know how many hours. Barbara never says anything. Sometimes she picks it up and she'll say, "I'll have him call you back." And then she'll get in on the conversation too. I mean, it's great.
Right. And a lot of people, a lot of wives, because I call him a confidant or whatever. He's married with 5 kids. And a lot of other people are uncomfortable with our relationship. And I'm like, the wife is fine. Same thing, like I'll be talking about a guy and she'll come out from nowhere. "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened." And that's because they obviously have an open, secure relationship. So even here with him, it's not only just me. He has 3 other women that we all call ourselves like the confidants, because we say friends, sleep with your other friends. So confidence is to the next level. And they're all beautiful to think. And you see how cute I am, and they're cuter than me. So they must be supermodels, right? And she's comfortable with all of us, and other people can't believe it. And I'm like, if you have a problem with it, that means that's something you have an issue with in your own insecurities. If she finds sometimes she has to be defending me, like we do certain things like podcasts and different things together, and she's like, "You're gonna let her with your man?" And she's like, "Yes, it's not an issue, but that's trust."
It's funny because I was in a group that we meet once a month. It's people that went to high schools in the area I grew up in. And so this girl tapped me on the shoulder one day and she asked me, she said, did you go to Kimball? And I go, yeah. She says, what did you graduate? I said, 69. She goes, well, I was a graduate 69. So what's your name? I said, oh, I'll look you up anyway. To make a long story short, we became friends. We see each other once or twice a month in these groups. And she asked me, she said, do you mind if we take a selfie? I go, no, it's fine with me. She goes, is it okay if I post it on Facebook? I said, I don't care. She goes, well, do you think your wife will mind? I said, not at all. I mean, it's a picture, so, and we take pictures all the time whenever we have these deals, my wife could care
But
less.
you know what it is, right? Like you saying that and you thinking this is normal. And then I have other people like, you was with a man, you took a picture and you put it on Facebook. What, you with him? You want to be with him? Who is that guy? So
and I've had people in the group ask me, what's going on with you and Jody? I said, what do you mean? What's going on? Well, and I said, we're friends. Really? Oh, yeah. And I said, she knows I'm safe. I'm married. She knows that, I said, my wife has no problem with it because she knows I'm not going to do anything. We're just friends. There's no secrets. There's nothing to hide. So, if my wife's okay with it, I don't really care what anybody else thinks. Period.
Exact point blank period, right?
Yep.
So let's go. Mss Francois, you are an author. Tell us a little bit about your books. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, girl.
I need to let it.
So it's called Let That, and it has like all these signs. So it's Let That Beep Man Go. 5+ steps in getting over a breakup. Now, people ask why you put the sign. And I'm like, when you break up, you don't go, oh, let that man go. I'm glad you're angry. And I put those there so you could choose whatever word that makes you feel, fulfilled, excited, frustrated. Just take it out. Let that be. Man go. Make sense, Lori?
Oh, for sure.
The book is 15 years too late for you, but you understand when that stuff happened with your marriage, you wanted to say a bunch of other things that you said in your mind, but I'm sure some things might have came out. So I'm giving you that little extra oomph. And basically it's 5+ steps to getting over a breakup. I always say I can't keep a man, but when I get over him, I could get over him pretty quick.
I love that. Yes, we do have our little terms of endearment when we leave somebody or somebody has hurt us enough to leave them. Yes.
I like that. Yeah. Terms of endearment. You sound so proper. I like you. Politically correct and everything.
Well, I think it's good that you have something that people can use as a guide to move on. Let it go, move on.
Right. And I always tell people, even when they read the book, I tell a little of my story, and it's not that I make it seem easy. Nothing is like that. It's not easy. You're going to have, I call it more of a transition or the next chapter, because you're still going to have the book. No one say rip out all the pages. It's still going to be there, but let's transition to the next chapter in life. And I found that a lot of times in relationships, especially females, we tend to put everything on the other person. We take care of the husband, we make sure the kids are fine. And a lot of times in relationships, we forget about ourselves. Now, the men are great, but I'm just here for the woman right now. But some of these things I put in could be used both ways. Make sense, Roy? I don't want to make you to feel left out or anything like that. Because I see like a tear in your eye. So I'm just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, but no, you're right. It is both. Both need to learn how to cope and move on.
Right. And a book like yours, I think, is important. I mean, humor needs to be put in there, and you do. I felt very alone when I was going through what I was going through, and that's where you don't want to. And when I watched the first Wives Club, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but I love it. And I'm sitting there going, "Where are my friends? Where are my friends?" I want the first Wives Club.
Somebody was a little angry.
And then I was like, later on after I watched it, I thought, wow, it would have been so much fun to have something or someone to feel that first Wives Club feeling with. And it wasn't so much to go after revenge, because I think it's hilarious because they're all revenging. They're either, well, of course, Bette Midler stayed with hers, but it was just kind of that sisterhood, and I guess, and there's definitely, like, I know that my ex-husband had his male group of saying, do this, do that, but I didn't have that. And that's the other thing you have to watch out for when you get married. Quite often a woman will become friends with all of a sudden your girlfriends that you grew up with tend to be a little bit further away than the guy group, and not so much maybe today, but when I got married, that was typical. And my mother always said,
it happened. I think it still definitely happens today. And I get the thing of marriage. You all bonded. You all going over here to start a family. But there must be some kind of balance that could be had where you can't be hanging out with the girls every weekend. But some people just totally separate. And the only time you might call a girl is when something happened, and by that time your girlfriend don't want to hear from you because she can't hear from you no other time. Yeah. Right. And that's even one of the steps. Like I say, link up with your friends, but I always like to specify. Some people think after you break up, you link up with your friends. Let's party. Let's get drunk. Let's find your man. Avoid those friends. Right. So I point out just making sure you have the right friends. Like I said, I call them confidants, and I also say you have different friends for different things. You have the friend that's going to party and drink. Maybe you talk to them once every 6 months. You have the friend that's into personal development. Maybe you talk to that person once a week. So categorize your friends. And a lot of the times when things like this happen, you don't want any kind of feedback. You don't want anyone to solve anything. You just need someone to listen sometimes. And I think a lot of us females, when we have the friendships, you have the girl chiming in, girl, you should have done this and you should have left him, and she don't even have a man herself. Like, no. Okay, so be conscious of who you're getting advice to. Like, I would go to Roy and his wife for some advice. They've been through some things like that. But I'm not going to go to the single friend that don't come to me because I can't even keep a man, but I can listen. I know it's amazing how smart I am. I don't know how I do this.
I think it's important that even when you get married, that you have, I've got my friends, she's got her friends, and we have our friends.
Oh, nice.
So if I want to do something, I'll do it. If she wants to go do something with her friends, that's fine. We have friends together we do things with. Not, I don't think that you should have to give up your friends just because you're married. Now, there may be some of those friends you might need to put a little distance in between,
Oh, so you had some of those friends you need to put some distance, huh, Roy?
Well, I had some friends that were, how can I put it? Well, they were just a little different than me.
You're so nice.
They tended to get in trouble and I didn't, and I just, so. Yeah, we're still
exactly friends. Because those friends could tend to lead you astray. We're all human, so, and it's good that you recognize that and separate, like I said, separate your friends in certain categories.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Don't have to give them up, just separate them and know when the right event is to be with them.
Oh yes, Lori. Oh yes.
and to your point, Lori Ann, I think a lot of times, your friends, when something like that happens, they don't really know how to respond or how to react. And I think that's why they kind of tend to back off. They're not sure what they should or shouldn't say, and just like Patrice said, if they can just be there to listen so you can vent or whatever, that helps people. But not, well, you should have done this, it's not, you don't want to hear that. You want somebody just to listen to how you feel.
The only thing is, I will have to say, at the beginning of a separation, when, in particular, I think in betrayal, it's really pathetic for your poor friends, because all you do is and they'll sit there, and about after like 3 hours of that, they go, okay, I gotta go now. And then you don't see them for the next 5 years. I mean, it's just what happens.
Well, I see that's how you was, Lori.
And I don't blame them, but the ones that did stick by, were the friends that were there for you. But there were a couple of them going, wow, you're really messed up right now, girlfriend. I don't want to see you anymore for a while.
Yeah, call me when this is over. Call me when this is over.
Well, I worked with a guy, him and his girlfriend split up. And I mean, every time he saw him, he would just go into it. He would tell people walk in the office that don't even work there. He's telling them, the FedEx guy, the UPS guy, We go to eat lunch. He tells the waitress. I mean, it's like Craig, you got to let it go. I mean, nobody wants to hear this, but I mean, he would just.
But you know what they said? I don't know if you know Les Brown, like he said, some people, regardless of his relationship, whatever problem they have, sometimes they don't want it solved. They just want to keep regurgitating the same thing because they just want everybody to just listen and be sympathetic with them. That's someone that doesn't want to get over it and just want to stay in that space. So he might need more help than talking to
I might agree to disagree to agree, because I think that there's a certain particular moment. So if it's in the first year that something devastated happening to you, you are going to regurgitate it because you're trying to purge your feelings. And I think that over time, you start to realize that shut up. But the thing is that you're doing that out of pain. It's like there's a song, you didn't see, all you could see was your pain. You didn't see my pain. All you could see was your pain. Because when somebody's in pain, they don't see other people's pains. They only see theirs until they can move forward on it. And in relationships, it can be severely painful to the point where they do have to repeat it, to the point where they purge it, to the point where they realize that they're really freaking annoying and they got to shut up.
But I mean, you feel, you have empathy for somebody, you have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
But after about 3 or 4 weeks, it's kind of like, okay, it's enough's enough. You got to move on.
No, it's going to go on for about a year, Roy. At least.
Yeah, Laurie's talking from experience, okay?
Yeah, but
6 months anyway.
And everybody is different. Like she said, it's according to how it ended and why it ended. So it's a lot of things that different factors play into that.
Absolutely.
For Laurie, it was about 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
13 years.
For me,
no.
what?
I'm kidding. The blah, 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 boo, hoo, hoo was definitely 1 year, but it was 13 years to finally let go of the anger and the love. Like, it's really horrible when you hate somebody.
How long were you married for?
I was married for 15 years, but I was in love with him for 22. I met him when I was 18.
Oh, wow. My
God.
My your whole love. Brain, heart, long live out went to that man. My goodness.
3 kids with him too. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a tough
as soon as I come to Canada, Laurie, I'll still give you a hug, even though it's been years. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that. People will go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going, well, no, I'm not anymore, because I realized my life now is better, right? I mean, I wish it would have ended better. I wish you would have just said things are not doing well, let's just end it. It would have ended better. But whatever the case, we probably wouldn't have made it anyway, considering because of the, the secrets and the lies. But the point is that where I'm at now today is a better place. And, I have my choice to do things.
I'm going to be nosy, Laurie, like I'm interviewing you. So were you able to rekindle like the relationship with your sister or your friend?
My friend, I did because she disappeared. Sister, no, because there were other things that surfaced after that.
Okay.
And so I tried, but it was for my mental health a better thing for me to stay away, because some people use the word toxic. I guess that would be one way to say it. But if someone's toxic in your life or not a positive influence in your life, don't bring them back in. You're just like, you're being a fool. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my ex, I did try, but that didn't work out. He hates me.
Okay. Well, he could kick rocks.
I don't get, like I said, it's in the end, I think you would agree, Mss Francois, is that, we have to realize that at the end of a relationship, we have to come to the point where it is for the better if it ended. Sometimes we could sit there for 13 years like me thinking, I never wanted him back, but what did I do wrong? How could it change? What could I have done right? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that voice in your head that plays over and over and over.
Yeah, and then
very draining.
Particularly if you start to think it was my fault that it all happened, and in betrayal, you tend to do that. But then eventually just say, hey, you know what? It was both our faults to a certain degree. What he did was really shitty, excuse my language, really was. But but it all worked out for the best. Maybe my kids struggled a lot through it. I think that was my hardest time of the whole thing. Was I wish I
Wow.
could have, I wish I would have protected my children from all that. And I think that that's my, if I ever lay on my deathbed, I would have said, they said, what was your one wish? I wish I could have protected my children from that. That would be it.
Oh, oh God. Okay, Lori.
Next
Well,
year.
at least we're in a happy place now.
Right?
After it just depressed me for 2 seconds. But yes, we're in a happy place now, right, Roy?
Yep. So Patrice, how can our listeners reach out to you?
Okay, well, the easiest thing for everyone is my website. That's that's Miss, remember it's MSS for multi-talented and super sexy. So it's MssFrancois.com.
Okay.
And you can find me on all social media. For any social media you could think of, I'm there.
That's
And your
awesome.
books on Amazon?
Amazon, correct. And you can still go on my website and get it. One-stop shop, www.MssFrancois.com.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for the laughter. That was awesome. I actually
Yeah,
was in tears laughing. That was great.
This is
No problem. You guys were awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you for being our guest. It was a pleasure to meet you.
No problem. Have a wonderful day. Maybe I'll see you in Texas, Roy.
Okay. Let me know.
All right. You all have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome.
Okay. So I guess we're still recording. How do I stop there?
Thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to visit us at lifterstory.com.